T. Colin Campbell. He read this research paper and he was shocked to read this that actually it is promoting cancer. More you take dairy product, there is a study that clearly says that you will become more and more insulin resistant. I ask people that you must check what is the food of your food. Is it hormones, pesticides?
I'd like to invite Dr. Rupa Shah ma'am to continue with the next session and give her talk.
It's a little interesting topic because this is something that is so interwoven with our life. Who rings the bell? Sabse pehle, first in the morning, who rings the bell? It's the milkman, right? Our day begins with milkman. You wake up in the morning, the first thing, my cup of tea. And then the day begins. So here I'm going to just quickly explore this subject properly and see what is there in the dairy. So as in the morning somebody did mention that every mammal feed their young ones. And so the milk is only for that particular offspring. But we humans consume milk of other species. We are the only one. And India is one of the world's largest milk producer. Our share is 22%, and our average consumption per person is about 355 grams per day daily. And these are the various things that we eat all the time, very casually, neatly packed, well presented, and tempting us all the time. So what's the problem with dairy? So there was an original research that came from India by these two Indian scientists from the National Institute of Nutrition in Hyderabad, Gopalan and Madhavan. In 1967, they demonstrated that protein found in cow's milk, which is called as casein, actually causes cancer tumors to grow. Not only grow rapidly. So this was a very unusual research, and someone who is in the nutrition field who was doing research, T. Colin Campbell, he read this research paper and he was surprised because he was assigned a role of how proteins are good, particularly they think protein is from meat, animal protein for human development. And he was shocked to read this that actually it is promoting cancer. So he decided to replicate the study. He contacted those authors and he didn't believe it because he thought this was wrong. But he replicated and he found the same thing. And then his path of life completely changed. And then later on he published this mega volume called as the China study, where the results were published from the largest nutritional study in the world in his book called as China study, which triggered the revolution of whole food plant-based diet. Dairy animals are given routinely antibiotics because they are given some hormones and their udders are very big, they live in unhygienic conditions, you have to give them some or other antibiotics, and so they are in the milk. They are susceptible to infection quite a lot. They live in a very pathetic condition most of the time. So these antibiotics are in the milk and are one of the cause of multi-drug resistance. So I think I was a vegetarian. I used to eat a lot of organic food and I was very proud. I don't take much allopathic. I never realized that by drinking milk, I was drinking all those antibiotics that I had no idea about. Now, this milk also has growth hormone. It can be from its own source, and also sometimes they are given the growth hormones as injections, and so that also is going to be a problem. This is a WHO data that talks about dioxins, which is kind of mist. These are the chemicals which are highly toxic, which are in a very high concentration in the dairy and are carcinogenic. And whenever something is very priced, milk is a comfortable, happy, middle class product, right? Poor people can't afford it. It's still like unreachable. But so it is adulterated a lot because that's the industry. Like just before Diwali, you will surely read a newspaper story saying that 2,000 kilo of mawa was found which was adulterated, or some paneer was found somewhere. Invariably, because this is what happens. I can't understand how they can sell a cheese pizza on street at 30 rupees with loaded with cheese. I wonder what cheese that is, because you can't afford only. So that adulteration has other set of chemicals. You don't know the source at all. Then lactose intolerance. That's a very well-known fact. All pediatricians know, and they definitely do first thing whenever there is cold, cough, or ear pain. Then they want to eliminate dairy products. So milk allergy is known, and as soon as you stop those products, you label them as lactose intolerant, and then you put them on other dairy alternatives, and they do extremely well. Then there are all these diseases that are transmitted in the dairy milk, like all this typhoid, diphtheria, poliomyelitis as well. So that's another danger. Of course, dairy consumption is directly linked with the insulin resistance. So more you take dairy product, there is a study that clearly says that you will become more and more insulin resistant. Then there is a link with type 1 and type 2 diabetes. And there are these carbs in the milk which will break down and become sugar. So that will of course raise your blood sugar. Autoimmune disorders like multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, they all have link with the dairy consumption. Then osteoporosis. So there was a study which is already mentioned often again and again, 12-year Harvard study talking about, they found that those who consume more dairy are actually risking their bones. They will get fractures more easily. Then how dairy affects your hormone levels. So a cow is giving milk, and after 3 months of giving birth, she is made pregnant again through artificial insemination. So the milk production is going on for her baby if she is a female calf, of course. But if she delivered a male calf, maybe he's dead. But she's giving the milk for the dairy farmer. Like that's the industry. She's kept for that. She'll be giving milk, but she's pregnant also. She's pregnant, and what is the pregnancy and hormones? Very high levels. So you can see it has got 20 times more estrogen. Now the glass of milk that comes on your table in the house, do you know? Do you know about it? You think it's healthy. That's all that you know, right? You don't know that it might be coming from a pregnant cow. You have no clue what's coming and how much is the estrogen. So there is a study that suggests that IGF-1 is playing a very strong role in the breast cancer in women. So there are all these different reasons given. So this is now, pay attention that now we are seeing more and more breast cancer cases in India as well. Women as young as 30 are also getting diagnosed. So IGF-1 with the cow milk, with the breast cancer. Then the same high hormones, what it will do, high levels of hormones, right? It's going to do something in your body. It will be in the milk, and if the girls take it, they may get PCOD and infertility in women. The hormones in the dairy might be interfering with their fertility cycle. So that nobody is paying attention. Then this is another study that has said acne. Teenagers, simple. All the teenagers who have acne, my first instruction is stop eating cheese, which is, I think, their staple. Every day there's cheese, in some item, cheese sandwich, cheeseburger, whatever. So dramatic results. In 21 days, there are no new acne, and they are like overwhelmed. I said just one instruction, nothing else. I don't tell them go dairy free 100%, but just the cheese alone. And it's also having some link with cancer as well. More you eat cheese, more is the casein, more is the cancer. Then dairy has also prostate cancer link. So they say that there are certain chemicals in the dairy, and including the IGF-1, they are going to stimulate the prostate. Because I have seen a lot in vegetarian men, that's a bit surprised. Like they eat clean, non-alcoholic, never smoked, and suddenly at 75, advanced stage of prostate cancer, not knowing from where it comes. When a big disease strikes, I always wonder, body does not lie. It has to have a sequence, a story, a reason, and then a disease happens. And where is the cause? That you must investigate. And then you will find that they are drinking 2 glasses of milk and curd and whatever, because someone told them to have strong bones or whatever. And suddenly there's prostate cancer. We haven't gone to the dairy farm and checked the practices over there. I ask people that you must check what is the food of your food. Do you understand what I'm saying? What is the food that your food has taken? Is it hormones, pesticides? What has been given to that cow? What are they eating? If they are eating, it will be in that, including the plastic, right? Even the plastic is eaten. All that will go and then will do something in your body. Then autism and casein link, have you heard about it? Yeah, so many autistic children are going dairy free and they improve dramatically. There must be a deeper reason behind it, but they do gluten free and they also do casein free, dairy free, they do extremely well. Then psoriasis, we have some real dramatic cases of psoriasis, totally reverse. Then of course now Alzheimer's disease. I already have elderly people in my own family and extended family all diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Quite sad to see them like this, but I see to it that it's got linked with the dairy products that they are having. Then IBS, of course, irritable bowel syndrome, very strong link with the dairy products. They can't digest dairy. They get either diarrhea, bloating, gas. Then saturated fats in the milk, of course, are directly related to heart disease. Cholesterol, of course, is there and directly linked with heart. So also Dr. Neil Barnard says that you will see saturated fat in the milk is responsible for many lifestyle diseases. Now, do you know that the milk contains some cholesterol, right? That's the reason we see dramatic change in 21 days. We take their blood cholesterol day 1 and then 21 days later take that blood test again and you see a huge drop in cholesterol level. Easily, because here you are eliminating the source of cholesterol. So, where is the cholesterol? Give me 2 names. Dairy and the second one? Eggs. And here are all the list of the dairy products that have the most cholesterol. So just it's there everywhere. Basically remember, it's everywhere. So ghee also like favorite of many people. Ayurveda recommends so much. So I say why no to ghee? Because it is again all saturated fat and it's going to raise the bad cholesterol in your body and then push you more towards heart disease. So absolutely no to ghee. Ghee is a highly processed product. There is no tree where the ghee is falling or something. It is all so many processes. Finally, a product comes out. Highly processed, no fiber. It's only saturated fat. So our concept of Ayurveda also will not work here. Then, of course, there are links with dairy and high blood pressure, and there are studies that clearly prove that when you go on a whole food plant-based diet, the blood pressure starts dropping. Then essential fatty acids. See, in the human milk, there are these mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids which are for the brain development. Now, these are not there in buffalo or cow milk. What do we say in our local language, Gujarati or Hindi? Tu to bhens jevo che. Buffalo, you are like a buffalo, you don't have brain, we say like that. Sarcoidosis, also I have known a case of sarcoidosis of a doctor's wife who she reversed it completely when she went off dairy. Otherwise she was taking a lot of steroids and a lot of suffering. And of course cheese is highly addictive, right? We tell people, can you give up tomato for a month? He'll be happy, I'll give it up. But when you tell him cheese, no, I can't give up cheese. Cheese itself has casomorphins which are highly addictive. Basically this binds the mother and baby. That's why you have this casomorphin. But then it starts binding us to that very product. That's why there are dairy addicts, right? They are all addicted to milk. They have to have 1 glass of milk before they go to sleep. I know those kind of addicts. And why no to curd? What do you think? Why I say no to curd? Though it's like all our Indian culture, no? Chaash to pee sakte hai na doctor? Chaash or ghee, these are the two. And for youngsters, it's the cheese, they'll say. And the whole population almost keeps begging, chai to peene do kam se kam, baki sab chhod denge. So why not to cut? Because it still has the same original ingredients in it. And then finally, this was already shown earlier also. What is the real cost of dairy? How many liters of water for 1 liter of milk? Maybe 1,000. I read something in the morning. So human beings get diseases and we are sick, right? That's the cost of dairy for whatever we want to have. Second, animals, suffering to the animals. Then environment, we are losing our precious forest for the pasture to feed all these animals. And of course, finally, ethically, spiritually, we want to align. We don't want to be party to kill or be responsible for their pain and suffering. I just met a spiritual person somewhere and he just mentioned that if a cow has lost her baby, she's grieving, right? And her milk actually is not suitable for anybody to use it. It's more like a sad, depressed cow who's grieving, and what chemicals will go into her milk that you will drink, that you will feel her pain and exactly go through the same thing. So these are the questions obviously no one is asking. This was also shown in the morning. All the plant-based milk are good for the environment because it uses the minimum resources. But all other ones you can see is going to use a lot of resources. So the cost of milk is extremely high for just our tongue and some concepts that we have. This is the chart from scarydairy.org. Says that, can you see the last line, that where is the calcium? But it's just the same, all of them, These are the resources. Nutritionfacts.org, Dr. Michael Greger. Plant-based data by Dr. Tushar Mehta, who is in Canada. He's got incredible information, lots of research papers, all back there on all kinds of plant-based diet subject. I also pulled out some of the research papers from there. PCRM is Dr. Neil Bernard. Nutritionstudies.org. Freedom from Diabetes has a few. And viva.org is from UK, that is the vegan organization for animal compassion. So they also have a booklet which is right here. So this is nutritionfacts.org, has tons of data. Just you keep asking for the subject, they have the data. These are the books that I read in the beginning and that changed my foundation. I became plant-based 15 years ago and I was very overwhelmed with the results because just for 30 days when I gave up dairy products, I saw that my migraine headache, which I was suffering for 18 years, completely disappeared. In the first week, no attacks. Second week, no. Third week, fourth week, nothing. I lost couple of kilo effortlessly. I felt very energetic. Every morning I wake up with no pain, no acidity, no body ache, feeling very light. I was 47 then. I felt like 17 then. I said, my goodness, it appears like a new birth. As the weeks passed by, I realized how clean the system becomes, how you have now no more those antibiotic load and anything that, molecules of dairy in your product just slowly living, and the mental and emotional state was incredible. I never felt so calm. Once I gave up the dairy, totally calm, clear, centered, and the word stress went out of my dictionary completely. So this is a book I have written. It has already sold thousands of copies, but also it is available free PDF. It's there on so many websites as just given away. Anyone can download and take it. And so finally, this is what is in the glass of milk. Just I forgot about mentioning the pus cells. In a certain amount is allowed and certain amount is not allowed. There can be blood because constantly their udders are injured. There can be contamination of feces, painkillers, antibiotics, growth hormones. Just so there's a long list. Everything is there. Think about it when a glass of milk comes on your table. If a mother is breastfeeding, again, you will not want to give her much antibiotics because it will go in the breast milk. But have you asked the glass of milk that comes on your table, the mother of that milk, what have you taken? What are you given? You have never asked. And you don't even know the origin, all the milk is all mixed. You don't know anything about it. So finally, the doctor of the future will no longer treat human with drugs, but rather will cure and prevent the diseases with nutrition. This is the fact. These are all the references that I have taken. Thank you.